Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to do another installment in fixing bad trinkets. So there's basically three here that everybody knows that I'm going to cover, so let's start covering the next one. And as you can see on screen, it's the Slimy Consumptive Organ out of Plaguefall. Before we do get into it though, please like, comment, subscribe. Flabbergasted by all the support. Thank you everybody for everything all of the time. I'm just always blown away. There's a Patreon link down below, community raid night, transmog competitions, and trivia night prizes for like a bunch of stuff, some in-game stuff and things like that. There's a Twitch link down below and a community Discord link down below if you would like to, hang out with me live, talk to me, ask me any questions about anything you see here. Great way to get a hold of me is those two links. Alright, so let's just get right into it. The Slimy Consumptive Organ. Now this is one that feels pretty bad to get when you do get it. Although, funny enough, I did use this to pretty good effect in Season 1 on my warrior when I was getting very bad luck on trinkets. I was really not getting anything good, but let's read what it does. So it is a stamina-based trinket for tanks. When you equip it, taking damage has a high chance to grant you gluttonous, just some sort of buff, stacking up to 9 times. When you use it, you spew out slimy morsels for every stack of gluttonous. The morsels immediately attempt to return to you, healing you for X amount of health. So that goes up depending on what health, what it's based at, yeah. This here, like I said, I actually used this to pretty good effect on my Prot Warrior in 9.0 when I was going after KSM. I was just having bad luck with trinkets, but it did give my warrior something that it was severely lacking, which was self-healing, right? We didn't have the absorb machine that it is now or anything like that. So I really had to try and make this work. But the nice part about this is it's only a 20-second cooldown. And if you're tanking in Mythic Plus, you get these 9 stacks fairly frequently. I'd actually say if you're chain pulling or you're pulling a lot, you can get anywhere from your 9 stacks of this up to 15 to 30 seconds. And really get to use this fairly frequently, and it's surprising how much healing it did. I honestly have to say, I'm surprised at how much healing it did. The issue with this is it has 0 offensive capabilities. Literally 0. It can heal you, that's it, and you are in full danger of being overhealed. So let's say you hit 50%, you hit the button, and as the slimes are starting to come to you, your holy paladin friend, or hits you with a word of glory, or the shaman hits you with a nice big juicy riptide and healing surge, and all of that healing goes to waste. That sucks, right? So there's several reasons why this is not a great trinket, and there's several reasons why this could be a good trinket. Now I've just kind of went over some of the reasons. Just a blatant healing trinket. It's not great because it takes time for these morsels to reach you, I will admit, so it does require a little bit of pre-planning. It doesn't take 5 or 6 seconds. I found it was more in the range of 2 to 3. So on a tank buster where I knew that I was going to get hit, and I was like, okay, great. I hit the button, spread them out, get hit by the tank buster, and I was getting pretty good at timing this to the point where it healed me back up, and the healer just wouldn't have to bother me at all, or bother healing me at all, and I'd be fine. And I was actually surprised at the end of the run at how much healing it did. But it does require some communique between you and your healer to kind of really make work right. And that kind of feels weird for a trinket. I don't know, like it's just kind of odd. But there are things that we can change with this trinket to really make it worthwhile. Oh. one of the things that we can do with this trinket is to try and prevent overhealing. Now, one of the things that, when I was discussing this a little bit in the community Discord and things like that, everybody's, like, the first option that came to a lot of people's minds is just add an absorb shield, and that was to a lot of things. And that's one thing I want to try and not do. Don't just add an absorb. Let's take the theory and the concept of these trinkets that I'm going to be covering. I had just done Blade Dancer's Armor Kit, for example. And now we're doing this one. This one here does feel where any overhealing could be an absorb shield, though. That could work, right? It's still in theory. It's still in concept with everything that's going on. Would you want to put the cooldown up a little bit? Because the absorb shield, well, let's say at 236, it's 1200 per slime. So really you're looking at about an 11,000 absorb shield every 20 seconds. That does seem like it could be a little bit much. The cooldown would have to be, for something like this, I'd say probably 30 to 40 seconds. Would be still really good. And it would heal you, and any overhealing would become some sort of absorb shield. Or we could go a different way, and any amount of overhealing becomes like a shield on you that doesn't prevent damage, but does damage based on how much that shield is. So let's say 2 of the globules, come in and heal you, but the other 7 stack on you, and whenever anyone hits you, it does damage based on what it is. So, for example, when you get hit, it deals 1204 damage back, right? That way it wouldn't be a 20-second absorb shield all of the time, but it would actually just be an offensive version of, hey, okay, we're on you. The little globules are on you, they're hanging out like, hey buddy, what's going on? You don't need heals, you're good. You get hit, they pop onto, they would pop onto an enemy and deal that damage. And that, I think, could actually be really good, because now you have a nice mix of offensive and defensive, where you can play it the way that you want, right? So you could time this with your healer and be like, okay, heal me up, I'm hitting this button now, you hit it up, you're at full stacks, boom, you have a full offensive version of it, or you can use it for healing against tank busters and things like that. I think this has potential to be a fun trinket that you could really play around with if you just kind of change a little bit of it, right? I don't want to go directly into absorb shield, although that would be the most defensive use for it, and I think any overhealing done would be a good version of that, right? So any overhealing acquired, absorb shield, very nice. But I really like that idea that any overhealing turns into kind of a thorns effect. Just a small idea there. Really, this isn't one that I have a lot of ideas, and I'm just realizing I've been talking for 8 minutes now, so I think that's enough. But what do you think could be changed with this one? Let's get creative as a community, right? What could we do? Because I do like the concept and the idea of this trinket. It's interesting, right? It's the Globtrob mechanic. Globtrob? The first boss in Plaguefall mechanic. So that has a fairly interesting connotation in itself. So what could we do, or what kind of feedback could we give for something like this in the future? And personally, I think a Thorns-like effect would be really, really nice. But what do you think? Leave that down in the comment section below. Next week, I will be covering the Pulsating Stoneheart, because that has already been requested. But I did want to talk about the Slimy Consumptive Organ first for a couple of reasons, and that I've kind of given those reasons throughout. So thank you very much for listening. Have yourself a great day, and, happy tanking.